Hey guys, Jeff Gibson here with True Covenant Ministry. We're going to do a set of videos in the next week talking about some things that I think are pretty misunderstood today in our society. Words that are in our Bibles that I think are terribly misunderstood, terribly translated. And this one is going to be about the question of what is sin, right? Uh, I think that when we truly define what sin is, it will probably shock people. We're going to do another video on why do we need grace. I think the reason for grace, I mean, everybody talks about grace, 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 grace. It's one of the most talked about words in the Bible, the King James Canon, that is probably one of the most misunderstood. Sin, grace, uh, what is iniquity? What is wickedness? You know, there's one more. What is the law? I think these are just five of many words that I think the church does not understand. And, I'm going to go back and we'll start out. I'm going to screen share with you, and we're going to go to eSword and just um, look at a few of these things. Let me get out of here. Let me get up there. Okay. Um, I want to go back. I want to begin in Jeremiah 16:19, I believe. Yep. Let's start here. Uh, Jeremiah says this. He says, O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in that day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and they shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. All right, let's talk about that. Okay, so what's Jeremiah telling us? In that day of affliction, at the end of time, Gentiles are going to come together from all around the earth, and they're going to wake up and they're going to be saying, Surely our fathers have given us nothing but lies, things, untruths, things that are of no profit. They're things of vanity. And I'm here right now to tell you we are walking through the door. The sun is going down, and we are getting ready to go into that day of affliction, right? If you can't look around in the world today and see where we are, then you need to wake up, you know. Uh, Debating on whether to tell this story. I was at a family gathering a while back, and I was going to talk about a world event, something relevant that was going on in our world today. And I began to tell about it, and one of my siblings, older than me, looked over at me and gave me the shush. We don't want to talk about it. Don't talk about it. And I looked at him and I said, That's exactly why this is going to succeed, because nobody wants to talk about it. These things going on in the world, things are not normal. People just want to stick their head in the sand and not talk about them. We're going into a huge food crisis. We're going into a huge energy crisis. We're going into a huge calamity in the stock market. Uh, all of these things, we're coming out of, a pandemic. They've shut the entire world down, you know. All of these things are not normal. We've got a drought going on in the United States that nobody's ever seen anything like. They're getting ready to lose their electricity in a lot of the major cities because when the Hoover Dam, when that water gets a little bit lower, they lose those generators. and a lot of major cities are going to lose power, but that's not what they have to worry about. They've already had to quit irrigating their farm ground from that water. So they already are looking at a looming food crisis. 60% of our fruit and vegetables come from that area. But not only that, they're going to lose water, right? I mean, you can live in a place. How long do you live in a house when you turn on the tap and there is no water? I mean, can you stay for a week? Can you stay for a month? I mean, if you're in a big city, how long can you actually? I'm not talking about brown stuff coming out of your tap. I'm talking about no water coming out of the tap. This stuff is unprecedented. We have, I am not denying we're having bigger hurricanes, more tornadoes. We're having fires that are unprecedented. We're having all of these things, hurricanes. You know, it's unprecedented. We are headed head first into that day of affliction. This is not some climate crisis. Uh, the pandemic had nothing to do with climate crisis. The stock market crash has nothing to do with pandemic. The fuel shortage has nothing to do with, the Netherlands are shutting down 30% of their farm ground. The UK is reclaiming 30% of their farm ground. This week in Canada, they sent out inspectors that have started going out to the farms, testing the soil to see how many nitrates are in the soil. And if you have too much nitrogen fertilizer in the ground, they're going to fine you to the point you cannot afford to grow crops anymore. This stuff is all talked about in our scriptures. So anyway, we're headed head first into that day of affliction, and it's going to get really bad. But anyway, what we're here for today is to talk about what is sin. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to screen share, and we're going to go to eSword again. And we're asking the question, what is sin, right? And so First John probably answers that about as good as anybody. 1 John 3:4. And John tells us this, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the Torah, the law. We'll call it the law for now. For sin is transgression of the law. Okay, that's a pretty good definition. It may not be an exact match to what most people think sin is, but when we break it down, I think it's definitely going to be a little different than people understand it to be. And what we're going to find out, let me go back and let's talk a minute. I don't care if you're using Strong's or Brown Driver and Briggs or Thayer's or what concordance you're using. They're going to hide these definitions under every tree, under every bush, under every rock. They're going to throw as much debris on top of this. You're going to have to bring a chainsaw, a pickaxe, and a leaf blower, and a broom, and a shovel to clear away all the debris to find out what these things really mean. And when we get to the bottom of it, we're going to find out, whoa, wait a minute. We've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. So that's where we're headed. Let's go look and see if that's not the case. Okay, so we're going back. I'm going to click on the expanded in eSword, where now we're looking at Strong's definitions of these words. So here we go. Whosoever committeth sin, and we're going to go through and see what their definition of sin is. It's pretty profound. Sin is an offense. It is sin. Okay. Well, we didn't learn much there. So let's go look at that root word of that, which is basically coming from G3313. Properly to miss the mark. That's kind of a roundabout way of saying it, but we have to go clear to the bottom of the list to actually find the truth. And so not to share in the prize, that is figuratively to err, to especially morally to sin. We're getting closer. For your faults, offend, sin, trespass. Bingo. Why didn't they just start out with that one? It's a trespass. Okay. So let's plug that one in. Whosoever committeth a trespass transgresseth also the law. Okay, so let's go to that word law. Okay. And again, you better break out your pickaxe and your shovel and your, we're going to have to really clean away the debris to find out the meaning of this word. Okay. Law is G458, nomia. Okay. Which means illegality. That is a violation of the law. Well, that's right where we started. Iniquity. Okay. That's one of the words we're going to do a little short video about. Not today, but transgression of the law. Okay, that's right back where we started. They really haven't told us anything. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. We knew that when we started. Okay, so we got to go to the root of that word. All right. And if you dig and clear away the debris and finally get to the bottom of it, you end up at G3551. Okay, which means lawless. That is negatively not subject to the Jewish law. Okay, we got to stop right there. Let's talk. I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. Surely we have inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. Moses did not go up on that mountain to talk to some Jewish rabbi who said, hey, here's the law. This is the Jewish law. Right? Is that what happened? No. Moses went up on the Mount Sinai to talk to Yahweh. And Yahweh said, these are my instructions. Okay. There was no Jewish rabbi when he got up there. Okay. It was Yahweh. Yahweh. Surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. This is not Jewish law. Okay. First of all, the Jews were at the base of that mountain, but they didn't go up the mountain, right? The Jews were from the tribe of Judah. Simeon also was there. Levi was there. Gad was there. Naphtali was there. Asher was there. Dan was there. We can go through all 12 of the sons, right? The tribes of all 12 tribes. Judah was not exclusively there. There were 12 other tribes there, right? All the descendants of Jacob, the 12 tribes, were there, along with those of the tribes of Manasseh, and along with the tribe of Ephraim. Okay, so now we're at 14 tribes, and then all of those who sojourned with them coming out of Egypt. Okay, the Jews were not exclusively there, even though we know they weren't the ones that Moses went up to the mountain and some Jewish rabbi gave them these instructions, this law, this Torah. No, it was Yahweh's Torah. And he didn't go down and say, okay, this is for the Jews, right? He said, this is for Judah. This is for Simeon. This is for Benjamin. This is for Levi. This is for Naphtali. This is for Asher. This is for Gad. This is for Dan. This is for all of these tribes that are here today. Okay, Judah was not the only one these were given to. This is not the law of the Jews. Okay, that's a lie. Surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers, right? Okay, let's get that straight. Okay, let's go back. Take up where we left off. Okay. Not subject to the Jewish law, my foot. Not subject to the law of Yahweh. And understand when I say Yahweh, Josephus said there are 4 vowels in the name. Yahweh, I believe, are the correct vowels that would be with Yod He Vav He. Yahweh. Depending on how many vowels you put in it. 3 vowels would be Yahweh, 4 vowels would be Yahweh, Yahuwah, Yahweh. I mean, nobody's going to get penalized for saying the name wrong if we're making our best attempt and doing the best we can. You say Yahweh, I say Yahweh, Yahuwah. It's all based on Yod He Vav He and how you put the vowels back in those consonants. So anyway, not subject to Yahweh's law. Uh, by implication, these people will be Gentiles. Okay, that much is true. Wicked, without the law, lawless, transgressors, unlawful, wicked. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This is Yahweh's law. Okay, now that number is G3551. I can't, if I move my cursor, I'm going to lose it. But up top right, you see the root word we're going to be looking for is G3551. Okay, so now we're going to go out of here. Move me. Okay, and we're going to look up G3551. Right there it is, Strong's number G3551. Okay, the word is nomos. It's from a primary to parcel out, especially food or grazing. We have inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. That is not what this word means. Okay, that is the first definition you're going to get under this word. Now let's go look at some scripture and see if that's talking about grazing rights for animals. Let's go see if that's really what this word means. And we're going to start going through a few scriptures. And here's a G3551. Let's see if that has to do with grazing rights for animals, okay? Think not that I am come to destroy the grazing rights of animals or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. That is stupid. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the grazing rights till all be fulfilled. Really? We can just keep going. Or have you not read in the grazing rights how that on the Sabbath day the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Let's keep going. And to offer a sacrifice according to that which is said in the grazing rights of Yahweh. Right? Okay, this is not, by the way, Jewish law. This is the law of Yahweh. Okay, and law is a terrible. While we're talking, let's just go look. Law is a terrible definition. Okay, we're talking about the word Torah, right? The law is translated from the word Torah. That's where we come in the King James. They came up with the word law. Let's see where they get it. They get it from the word Torah, all right, which is from the origin word of Yara. Torah means that we're to teach, not only to learn it, but we're to teach these instructions. But what does the word actually mean? It means a direction or an instruction. Third possible definition would be law, but that's the one that our fathers chose, and we've inherited nothing but lies from them so far, and it just keeps going. All right. Torah means direction or instruction. The most true definition of the word Torah is Yahweh's instruction. All right. Well, let's talk about that for a minute. This is my attempt at a short video, but I can't help but talking about stuff. What is original sin? Okay. Who committed the original sin? Well, that would be Eve, right? She was given, her and Adam were given one instruction, just one. You may eat from every tree in the garden except for one. But you cannot eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And what happened? Eve broke that instruction. She was given an instruction and she broke it. Okay, and then she went to Adam and she talked Adam into breaking that instruction. They were given one instruction, they broke it. That was original sin. Okay. Now you go fast forward to Moses. Well, you can go to Noah. Noah, same thing happened with Noah, but we're going to jump on to Moses. Moses went up that mountain not to talk to some Jewish rabbi to get the law. This is not the Jewish law. He went up that mountain because Yahweh, we can go to Exodus and read it, but he spoke down those first 10 instructions. And what did the people do? They came to Moses, and told Moses, look, we're going to die. When we listen to his voice, we're surely going to have a heart attack and die. So I tell you what, you're the man. You go up on that mountain, you walk through that fire up that mountain, and you talk to Yahweh, and whatever instructions he gives you, you come back, tell us, and we will do them. Okay. He was the man. So he went up, he got the instructions, and he came back down. Now, in all their wisdom, our fathers decided to call those instructions law, almost legalism. Their instructions. Eve didn't break the law, she broke Torah. She broke her instruction. She was given an instruction and she broke it. The Torah is nothing more than instructions from our Creator. You know, you can't put a bicycle together without an instruction manual. You can't get a driver's license without knowing the instructions. But don't put me under Yahweh's instruction. I don't want to hear none of that. You know, surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our father. So anyway, the law is a terrible definition of the word Torah. Torah means the instruction, and not only knowing that instruction, but also once you learn it, telling other people about it, teaching others. That is a true definition of the word Torah, but we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers, right? Okay, so let's go back. Torah means direction, instruction, and lastly, the law. But anyway, let's go back and let's plug that in. You know, we looked at all these scriptures with the grazing rights. Where was that at? To parcel out. This is that word 3551 again, nomos. Grazing to animals, grazing rights. But if we look closer and we get out our shovels and our pickaxes and our leaf blowers and our chainsaws and clear away all the debris, we're going to find out really what it means if we really have to dig for it. Nomos 3551, especially food or grazing to animals. Okay, we found out that don't fit. So what's left? Oh, wait a minute. The law. Okay. Terrible definition. It should be the instruction, but through the idea, perceptive usage, genitive case regulation, specifically of Moses. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now we're finally finding it. We've cleared away all the trash. Here it is. Why didn't they just say the law of Moses? The Torah, the instructions of Moses. That would have saved us a lot of time. But Strong's, get out of here, did not want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. They did not want you to believe the law is the Torah of Moses, right? They'd rather you believe it's grazing rights for animals. If you get curious enough to look, let's hide it behind grazing rights to animals. I guarantee you, let's go back and look. I promise you, you can go through every one of these scriptures, G3551, 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 go all the way to the end, go to Romans, G351. It is never going to mean grazing rights. This is Romans. For as many as have sinned without the Torah shall also perish without the Torah. As many have sinned in the Torah shall be judged by the Torah. Let's read it with grazing rights. For as many have sinned without the grazing rights shall also perish without the grazing rights. As many have sinned in the grazing rights shall be judged by the grazing rights. How stupid do they think we are, right? All right, let's plug in Torah now. We started doing that. Let's see. I don't know, you can pick anyone. They had performed all these things according to the Torah of Yahweh. Again, this is not some Jewish law. This is the law, the instructions of Yahweh. They returned to Galilee, to their own city, Nazareth. Just pick one. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all these things must be fulfilled which were written in the Torah, the instructions of Moses, right? The instructions of Moses. This has nothing to do with grazing rights. So why is the first thing that comes up under that word grazing the animals? Because they don't want you to do the digging, clear away the debris, and find out it's actually talking about the Torah, right? You know, let me get out of here. Whoop, I don't want to do that. Let's go there. Let's go right back where we started. Jeremiah 16:19. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in that day of affliction that we are falling headfirst into. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and they shall say, Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, things wherein there is no profit, kind of like grazing rights, where it should say Torah, right? We've inherited lies. Somebody is not wanting us to figure out this stuff, right? We're talking about sin tonight. Next video we do is going to be talking about grace. Why do we need grace? I'll give you a little lead into it. Why do we need grace, right? To cover sin, right? What is sin? Transgression of the instructions of Moses given to Moses on Mount Sinai by Yahweh. All right. If you dig and you look and it has nothing to do with grazing rights. We're not stupid. Right. Sin is transgression. John tells us sin is transgression of the Torah, the instructions given to Moses. Why do we need grace? To cover the transgression. Every time we, like Eve, broke that instruction. Do not eat. You can eat of every tree, but don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. She broke that instruction, right? She sinned. Sin is transgression of the instruction, okay? Specifically the instruction of Moses, it says, right? When we looked it up, it says specifically the law of Moses, right? We have to dig to find it, but that's what it says. Sin is transgression of the law of Moses. Law is Torah. Torah means instructions. Surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. Guys, we don't have so much time left that we can play around mincing words and look around at the world. It's time to wake up. Drop the scales off your eyes and look. We're doing a set of videos right now. We just finished, a gentleman by the name of Maimonides. Never get it right. Maimonides. Jewish rabbi came out with a list of 613 instructions that he believed were instructions. And we were going through that list. That's kind of the list that everybody goes by on the instructions. But what we find is that out of those 613 instructions, that many of them, although they're still valid, they do not apply today in our lives. They, for one reason or another, do not apply. And some of those instructions, there has to be a physical building, temple building with an altar. Okay. There is no temple in the world today in Jerusalem with an altar. So all of the instructions that deal with a temple and an altar, all those cannot be applied today because we do not have a temple and we do not have an altar. Many of those instructions there have to be Jewish Levitical priests. There are no Levitical priests today in authority in the world. There haven't been for a long time. more than 2,000 years. A lot more than 2,000 years. Many of these instructions, you have to be in the land. Many of these instructions, when you have to be in the land, there have to be judges that are anointed by Yahweh, to make rulings. I had people ask me all the time, well, what about, you're to kill the false prophet. Okay, well, I even pondered that one for a while. Well, you're to kill the false prophet. Well, and I'm paraphrasing real heavy, but it says in the land, first off. Secondly, it says that you must have inside all the gates in the cities that Yahweh gave you when they entered into the land, that you are to have judges and officers that are anointed by Yahweh to judge people, right? Even Moses had judges. There are no anointed judges in the land today that are anointed by Yahweh, right? So the time of the judges is long since they're not there. So you can't kill a false prophet because there is no judge appointed by Yahweh to judge to see if it's a false prophet or not. So all of the things that require judgment, there are no judges. Some of these instructions are written to a specific time when they're leaving Egypt on the Exodus. Those some of them no longer apply because they're not leaving Egypt. Some of them are to kings, some of them are to men, so automatically they would not apply to women. Some of them are to women, so they would not apply to men. Once we start taking the ones away that don't apply, of course, all of the sacrificial laws are done away with because we've already had the perfect sacrifice, right? There's no need for a blood sacrifice. The perfect sacrifice, our Messiah was the perfect sacrifice. There is no further need for a blood sacrifice. So all those sacrificial laws they're gone. So when you start getting rid of the ones that cannot, although they're still valid, they do not apply. They never go away, but they are not in effect today because for one reason or another, you cannot apply them. Once you start winnowing away these instructions that are not in effect today, you end up with a much smaller list. And what did they, we talked about it tonight. They came to Yeshua and said, which is the greatest instruction? Which is the greatest commandment? And he says, well, we're to love Yahweh with all our heart, or all our mind, all our soul, and we're to love our neighbor as ourselves. Okay. And I had a gentleman come to me and say, you know what? See, there's only two instructions now. You love Yahweh with all your heart, mind, and soul. You love your neighbor as yourself. There's only two. And I said, read the rest of that verse. He didn't stop at that. He went on to say, because all of the other commandments, instructions, hang upon those two instructions. So what we're left with today, and even before, always, every one of these instructions have to do with one of two things: our relationship with our Creator, our Father in heaven, Yahweh, or our relationship with other people. All of these instructions have to do with either our relationship with Yahweh or our relationship with other people, morality, ethics, sexual morality, dietary morality. And so, but I have people come, this, oh, don't put me under your Torah. I don't want nothing to do with your Torah. Well, I'm not trying to put you under the law. I'm trying to put you back under the instructions that have been broken, because surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. And so anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. That's the instruction or the teaching instruction. That's exactly what it is. I'm teaching the instructions, right? What we're supposed to do. I'm performing Torah right here. I've learned the Torah and now I'm teaching the Torah. So anyway, the next video I think we're going to do is what is the need for grace? And we're going to find out. Surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. What is the meaning of iniquity? Surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. We've already talked quite a bit about what is the law. Surely we've inherited nothing but lies from our fathers. It's not a legal thing, it's an instruction. We're to be set apart from the world. We set ourselves apart by keeping his instructions. That's how we're set apart. We are falling headfirst into that day of affliction, guys. And so anyway, it's time to wake up. I pray the scales fall off people's eyes with this. And I think when we hit that, what is iniquity, that should shake people to their core. Because people are going to come to him in that day and say, we've done all these things in your name. And he's going to say to them, depart from me. I never knew you, you that work Torahlessness. That's what it says. And so iniquity is Torahless. I'll give you the cat's out of the bag, but I'll prove it. So anyway, we're going to call it there and end it there. But anyway, I pray this video finds you all well and that Yahweh blesses you and keeps you until we do our next teaching. See you next time. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed our video teaching tonight. If you haven't had an opportunity, we've got other videos out. You can find them under The True Covenant Ministry on YouTube. We also do a live Sabbath teaching every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. And we take an opportunity at the end to visit with people and get questions and comments. And we'd love to see you there. If you'd like to join, you can contact us through the True Covenant Ministry at yahoo.com, and we'll send you out a video link to join our Zoom meeting. Or if you just have a question or a comment, you can post it on our email. There is no doubt that we're in the birth pains right now, and we're falling headfirst into the time of trouble. That day of affliction is coming upon us very fast. But it's not it's not all bad. We look up and know that our redemption draws nigh, right? So as we go into these times, we're going to see some very dark things. We're going to see some hard times coming. But Yahweh didn't just leave us out in the cold on our own, right? He gives us instructions how we're to navigate through these things that are coming upon the world. There's a lot of tough things coming, and there's instruction how to get through those things. So anyway, I just pray that Yahweh will keep you and bless you in these times, let his face shine upon you. And I pray that he give you wisdom and guidance in the times that are coming on this earth. And, we pray not our will, but Yahweh's will be done.